tuned in to the Two Wins podcast.
Hello guys, welcome back to the Two Wins podcast. This is episode 3 of History's Nutjobs.
We're back.
We are back.
We missed a day, but we was enjoying the bank holiday weekend, so give us a break. We missed one.
I've been nagging him.
He has been nagging me. Someone wanted to upload the Sunday video earlier, alright, and it threw me off balance.
I asked you and you said it was fine.
It threw me off schedule.
I asked him and he said it was fine.
It threw me off schedule.
But we will have a camera video, hopefully, coming soon.
And the B-roll of this, if I can find where I put my GoPro, should be Leeds Castle. I GoPro'd the whole walk of the castle.
Why the fuck does your GoPro want to work when you're out doing stuff like that? Even riding your motorbike and then it doesn't want to work when we're sat.
Oh, right.
It's so annoying.
Where is my GoPro, Holly? I haven't actually seen it.
Bill's lost his GoPro.
It'll be around here somewhere.
Right. So we are ready to talk about History's Nutjobs.
It's time for History's Nutjobs.
And today we're going on the sea because this is actually going to be about pirates or a particular lady pirate.
Can I try to pronounce her name?
Go on him.
Ching Shih?
Well, that's a bit racist. Borderline racism.
What?
Ching Shih.
Oh, that's even worse.
No, it's not.
That's even worse.
That's just how you say it.
Yeah.
Ching Shih. Right.
That literally looks like Chang Shih.
Wait till you see her real name. So Ching Shih, also known as Shi Zhangyu or Madam Xing or Zheng Si Yao, is without a doubt one of the most unique pirate leaders of all time.
Prove it.
I will prove it, don't you worry.
Right now she's ranking a 0. So.
Oh, God. Right, I need to up it. So, Ching Shih was born in the year 1775. She claims the title as one of the most notorious pirates to ever sail the seas, not only because she was a woman, or that she managed to personally command the force of over 300 pirate ships and 20,000 pirates. No. The thing that makes her a unique pirate is the fact that she managed to walk away from piracy unpunished and live her days in peace until she died from old age in 1844.
Oh, this one's a bit more recent.
A bit more recent
than what we've been having.
Genghis Khan and
This
Miyamoto.
This one isn't as much hearsay, should we go to say? This is probably a bit more factual because a bit more research.
There is different side versions of the story, but yeah, I just included stuff that I think was set in stone.
This one might seem a bit more raw because we're done cropping stuff out of podcasts. So if we make a mistake now, I'm just going to say, like that, just like that, bang then, just say, sorry, and we're moving on now. Because
unless it's something we actually need to crop.
Yeah, unless it's something that we definitely need to crop or beep. Otherwise, it just makes the editing a whole lot longer. Because sometimes we record for over an hour. Sorry to go off topic. Sometimes we record for over an hour and it's a lot to sit through to overhear what we've already said as well.
Whilst working a job.
And then we can't enjoy it. It's not like we can enjoy the podcast going out because we've then heard it a third time before it's gone out. Do you get what I mean? And we got to watch it again before we even upload it. So probably about the 4th or 5th or 6th time before it's hit YouTube. But I still watch them when they're on YouTube. I still listen to them when I'm at work and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does get a bit tedious. So if there is more mistakes now in the podcast,
I know exactly what you mean. Editing the Fred podcast, that killed me off because it was just, I feel like I had to censor and cut so many things.
And it literally doubles the editing time now.
Yeah,
because
I had to have a break. That's the first time I've actually had to have a break from editing.
I was thinking, what's the best way to get around it? And I think for us to better ourselves as well would be to just not have to simply try and not do the mistakes and just move on if there is one.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And it also means you guys will get a bit longer podcasts. I know sometimes our podcasts are over an hour long, and then when we're done snipping them and cropping out all the bits we missed, they're like 45 minutes and stuff. So
yeah, shall I crack on?
Carry on. So we've got Ching Shih.
Yeah, Ching Shih.
And she's from the 1800s. Well, she lived to the 1800s.
Yeah.
And she commandeered over 300 pirate ships. She's a well-known pirate woman.
Yeah.
and so far we haven't gotten into the story, so we will now. That's where we was up to date.
So, not much is known of the early years of Ching Shih, except that she was a Cantonese prostitute who quickly rose through the ranks in a brothel of her birthplace called City Yuanzhou. I don't know how to pronounce that. She did her work on a floating brothel and was famous for using her incredibly effective pillow talk to influence men. So she's got away with words. She's a prostitute working on a boat where you have sex. And that's rumoured where she actually met her husband, but I'll go into that in a bit. She eventually gained control over a large number of pirate ships and organised them into a well-oiled machine that attracted the attention of the famous Chinese pirate Ching Shih. They would then choose to marry each other so that their pirate business could be united and grow to its full potential and incredible size. It is reported that Ching used her experience as a prostitute to talk her way into the heart of Cheng first to gain power. So that pillow
She
talks.
talked her way up there.
Yeah,
Either that or she's got a good snatch.
exactly. So she could have seen the journey. She could have planned out how she wanted to gain control.
Yeah.
She took great advantage from this marriage union, solidifying her place in the large pirate fleet and organising a coalition with many other large Cantonese pirate fleets. Her husband, Cheng First, died in 1807. There's no solid answer to know how he died, but the stories go that he was killed by a tsunami while out on a ship. Another story states that he was killed by Vietnam pirates, but whatever may be the reason, this would leave her in a weird situation, and it was definitely weird because after his death, she immediately started a romantic relationship with Cheng's adopted son, Xiang Pao.
Right. Whenever stuff like this happens, I'm always like, what the fuck? The first thing in my mind is, what the fuck? This is so weird. But it actually was a different time back then. Like, people would fucking...
It was actually really
People
normal.
would marry their half-sisters and shit like that. Like,
It was actually really
Yeah.
common.
it's not that unheard of to hear now. We've been through some of these.
The marriage was for good reason, as the adopted son should have been heir to the ownership of the fleet, but Ching obviously used her smart pillow talk again to convince the man into marriage and requesting that she should have ownership of the fleet. So she must have a way with words.
Definitely. She's talking her way through it.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to ask, has she only got 300 dubs? Because I feel like the other ships have gone alongside her and been like, what the hell? That's a pirate woman. That's a pirate captain. Got really close, and then they've just fucking let out a little cannonball at the front.
Well,
Just took them out.
You'll see her strategies.
She's gone like, I remember her from the brothel days. I can't shoot her. That's our Ching Shih girl.
Yeah.
I can't shoot her. That's my homie. What the frick? She destroyed the front of my ship.
She's probably had her tits out like, come on, boys.
Distracting them all.
Ching Shi's control of the pirate fleet at that time was a thing of beauty, which was only possible because of her well-maintained political manoeuvres, which enabled her to rule unopposed, but also because of her insistence that all pirates followed her very strict pirate code. You know what a pirate code is? Just loads of rules.
Yeah. Aye, the pirate life for me.
But the pirate code had 3 main rules, along with several secondary ones, and every single one of them influenced pirate sailors into the tight-knit group that is extremely organised and tough to beat. Reports from several governments with interest in the Chinese Sea, even Great Britain, reported that pirates from the Ching Shih organisation, known as the Red Flag Fleet, were determined in their attacks and untouchable in defence when captured or outnumbered. Sounds like the John Jones of pirates.
Yeah, it sounds like...
Just untouchable.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what the core rules of the pirate fleet were?
Don't brush your teeth. I know one thing pirates were known for is having very bad hygiene because there's nowhere to wash on a ship. So their teeth were rotting. They were stinking. They were ponging it out. They were greasy as anything.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because the first one is to actually bath in bleach and put loads of hand sanitizer on. Nice, no.
Disinfectant.
So the core rules were pirates who gave unsanctioned orders or refused to follow orders were executed on the spot.
What do you mean by unsanctioned ones?
So pirates who was giving orders without being told they could give orders.
Oh.
Yeah. Stealing from the public fund or captured goods or money or raiding villages that supported pirates was punishable by death. All captured goods, money, or slaves had to be presented for inspection. The rewards were handed out in a predetermined way. It was absolutely prohibited to have sex or beep female captives. Pirates could marry pretty captives if they had the means to support them and be faithful to them, but the rest were ransomed or freed. Punishment for having sex or beeping them was death. So she's kind of standing up for the women.
You know what? This is the first leader we've had which hasn't just let their army.
Right, we will have to edit that bit because you said the word, but
this is the first army leader that we've had that hasn't just let their soldiers have the way.
Yeah.
She hasn't let her pirates have the way with the other enemies, and that's the first one we've seen so far where they've been faithful.
Can I get a you go girl?
Yeah. So now she can't rank higher than 5.
I get one of them?
She can't rank higher than 5.
Give me one of them.
I'm joking.
Give me one of the.
You go girl.
No, louder.
You go girl.
No, I'll need like a bit more. It's like snap the hips and really get into it.
You go girl.
There we go. That was gay. Don't know why you done that. It's embarrassing. I'm gonna crop the bit out that where I asked you to do it. Right. As the ruler.
Oh, sorry. Was you starting?
As the ruler.
Sorry. Carry on.
As the ruler.
Sorry. Carry on.
As a ruler of the largest pirate fleet in human history, Ching Shih even managed to create problems for many governments with the largest naval fleets in the world. China, England, France and other countries who had interest to clear pirate activity from Chinese Sea had no answer for her, and military involvement was out of question.
Why?
Because she was just so good in like battling in pirate ships, they literally had no answers for her. Like she was just untouchable.
There was no navy back then.
There was no. There was a navy. They just didn't have a solution for her. She was too smart.
Well, there was a navy then.
Yeah. They're actually, you'll see in a minute.
Sure, that's mad.
Unlike in the West, in South China, there was no stigma attached to women being on board a ship or any fear that it was bad luck for the ship. Nevertheless, it wouldn't have been easy for anyone, much less a pirate's widow, to control so many outlaws. Which I think is pretty good. So, in the West, they was a bit more like, no, we can't have women on board, that's bad luck. And bit sexist. Like, you don't really, it's like scaffolding, isn't it? No woman up the scaffolding.
Yeah.
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 She weren't that bad though, was she? She didn't mind the old woman coming on the ship.
No, she didn't mind the woman. She
Seems
was
like
a woman herself.
I know. It seems like she's doing a lot for the old woman.
She is. She's putting her mark on the woman. An East India Company employee named Richard Glasspool was captured by Ching Shih's pirates in September 1809 and held until December of that year. In his account of the ordeal, he estimated that there were 80,000 pirates under Ching Shih's command and some 1,000 large junks and 800 smaller junks of rowboats. Rowboats, sorry. So 1,000 large junks is like 1,000 ships. 800 smaller junks are just shittier ships. And then you had rowboats.
Fair play. She's got a big old fleet.
She's got the inventory. In 1808, a year after Ching Shih took power, the Pirate Confederation became significantly more active. In September, Ching first lured... I'm having like a serious speech problem at the moment. In September, Ching first lured them into ambush, and she actually captured the brigade general, and destroyed his fleet of 35 ships near Maju Island.
Where's that?
I don't know. I'm going to guess somewhere in Asia. This was another shit one to research. I just really like her character.
Yeah. Are we going to see that fucker with the weird hands next?
A month later in October...
Not Keenan.
He is coming next episode. A month later in October, Zhang Bao defeated Lieutenant Colonel Lin Fa near present-day Weiyang Island. Don't know where that is, Bill, so don't ask. These two engagements reduced the Chinese provincial fleet by half and cleared the way for the pirates to enter the Pearl River. So she's already causing chaos and paths for more power.
I reckon that island's near Wei Ling anyway. You said you don't know, so don't.
I don't know. In 1809, it was an eventful year for pirates under the command of Ching Shih. In March, provincial commander Sun Quan Mao, with around 100 ships under his command, engaged a small group of pirates near Dawashan Island, and the pirates called Ching Shih for backup. Before the battle, Ching Shih took command of the Red Flag Fleet and the White Flag Fleet and ordered Zhang Bao to engage from the front with around 10 ships. Zhang Bao's lieutenant, Zhang Shih, was to outflank Sun from the sides, and Lang Bao, leader of the White Flag Fleet, was to cut Sun off from the rear. During the battle, Ching Shih charged in with the bulk of the Red and White Flag Fleets, which routed Sun, and they pretty much fucked them. They fucked them up. On July 21st, the Qing Navy dealt a major blow to the Pirate Confederation by killing Lang Bao and destroying his White Flag Fleet at an engagement near Zhuhai, but in return lost the brigade general along with 25 ships to Zhang Bao.
She's pissed.
These names they're hard to follow along, I know.
She's pissed now.
Yeah. Lang's death and destruction of the White Flag Fleet did not deter Qing, and in 1809 she ordered a fucking massive raid. Zhang Bao would raid around Dongguan with the Red Flag Fleet. Guo Padai would raid around Shendeb with the Black Flag Fleet. Ching Shih would lead the raid around Jinhu with her personal fleet. I should, in a future podcast, I feel like I should just change. You know when like
a person's name is hard to pronounce.
Yeah, or like a location. So if it was called like, I don't know, Jinhu, I'll just fucking change it to Kerry, or like the location being something weird, I'll just change it to Maidstone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe if it's repeated multiple times, say, this is Shalping Forest, but we're just going to call it Chatham for now.
Is it easy for you to follow along with these weird names, or is it harder?
Yeah. I think if names are repeated that are hard or long, I think swap them to like Gary or whatever.
Okay.
But
well, we'll do that after this podcast. Yeah.
It might make things a little bit easier for the...
Yeah. Gao Padai worked his way through the numerous waterways along the Pearl River for 6 weeks on a bloodshed raiding campaign, which ultimately cost the deaths of approximately 10,000 people.
When those people go ham, they go ham. It's not like it's just killing a couple hundred. When these leaders get pissed, it's always like thousands dying.
I always find it weird that if you noticed every single story I talk about, it's always flanking involved. Like it's always the strategy is you catch them off guard and flank them.
Do you know the best? Sorry, I always think the best like story where it comes to flanking is the Trojan horse, where they just send their enemy like a nice sculpted horse, and it's got like fucking 12 knights like hidden in the middle of it that just sneak out when they're in front of the king or whatever.
That's fucking mental, isn't it?
And that actually worked. That fully worked.
Yeah. And in September, Zhang Bao completely destroyed a large town not far from Human? I don't know.
You're only human.
And killed 2,000 inhabitants. Numerous villages, settlements, and towns fell victim to the rampaging pirates. On September 27th, Ching Shih personally took command of 500 ships and anchored near Tanzhou, and just 2 days later she ordered her lover boy Zhang Bao to raid the town of Shating further upriver, where he captured around 400 civilians.
I bet they were shatting themselves.
Then on October 2nd, she ordered Guo Podai to anchor around Ching Shih, where he raided 2 days later. By late October, the provincial fleet was back to strength and ready for action under the command of Sun Quan Mo, but was defeated again by Ching Shih on the evening of October 21st. It's important to remember that Madame Ching oversaw a criminal enterprise that terrorized the south coast of China. Her employees were robbed, murdered, and sold into slavery. Thousands of innocent people. Bastards. Coastal towns were charged protection money, and if they refused to pay, communities were pillaged for supplies. Foreign vessels were also required to pay for protection or be boarded and robbed of their cargoes, whilst the sailors were captured and held for ransom. So you either paid them money for security or you got fucked up.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Whenever these stories come about, I don't know why. Whenever I hear of them, it's always like the Asian, like that kind of countries where it's like, oh yeah, you pay us to protect your property. It definitely probably does happen in some places around here, especially on some blocks and stuff.
You think that's what a samurai was?
Yeah.
It was someone paid to protect someone.
Exactly, but I feel like even now, like it happens with gangs
Bodyguards.
of people in in Japan and shit. It still happens now with gangs and stuff, but it's not really so much like a European thing. But it definitely still happens, I reckon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not as much.
Ching Shih's pirate fleets were able to defeat the Chinese Imperial Navy several times, which caused displeasure among the Qing dynasty officials. Them, along with the British and Portuguese warships, regularly harassed the pirates. So Ching's kind of getting... She's starting to get wound up now.
Yeah.
Eventually, the Chinese government offered all the pirates amnesty just to get rid of them and halt their plundering of maritime commerce. In 1810, the offer to anchor her ships in harbours was too good to refuse for Ching, as conflict among the pirates was making the business less secret and increasingly dangerous. So the government took possession of 226 ships, 1,315 cannons and a bunch of weapons, totaling almost 2,800. More than 17,000 pirates went free and were sent on their way with money, wine and pork. Many of these men were then enlisted into the Imperial Navy, where they joined in the effort to stamp out remaining pirates.
If you can't beat them, join them.
I mean, they could beat them though, but they just had a deal. That same year, the Pirate Queen retired, aged 35, and lived a happy and relatively quiet life. And that's if you want to call a quiet life smuggling an operation for opium and a gambling house. So,
as you do.
So when she retired, that's what she done. Unfortunately, in 1844, she died in peace at 69 years old. Don't be immature.
69.
Don't be immature. Not many people know how powerful she really was and how she defied the rules of society to find happiness for herself. So this is why, in my opinion, she was the perfect opener to talk about when it comes to pirates. Oi! Sorry. There's a cat on the keyboard. A prostitute from the flower boats becoming a pirate queen. So she's worked her way up. And I feel like she got a good deal out of it. They let her go free. She's been referenced in a few films and actually had a character from Pirates of the Caribbean inspired by her, which I think is pretty cool.
Who was it?
I'm pretty sure her name was like Madame Ching or Madame Lee or something. There's been comics, mangas, TV programs featuring her in it, and characters in Assassin's Creed Black Flag and For Honor were both heavily influenced by her.
That is cool.
That is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the story of Ching Shih.
How many people has she killed?
You're gonna have to Google that.
Help me.
I mean, by hand, I don't know if there's no way of knowing.
Yeah, but we can Google it.
God, her fleet is reported to have beheaded over 80 men and sold their wives and children to slavery. It's got to be more than that though.
Yeah.
But you think there's 80,000 pirates under her wing?
Yeah, there's 80,000 pirates
under her wing.
You can imagine.
Which is fucking mental. So yeah, that's it for Ching Shih. I know it's not the most interesting, but I feel like she's unique to speak about. The fact that she was a female pirate, and I don't see a lot of podcasts or see a lot of clips about her.
I think compared to, and I will, because this is what we're judging it on, compared to the other badasses.
Yeah.
It's a 7 out of 10, but I think that's good.
You got to do it out of 100, mate.
Oh, 70 out of 100 then.
70?
Yeah. 74.
74.
74.
Yeah,
I think she was fucking definitely badass. But that we're putting it on the same chart as Genghis Khan. Like,
yeah, you can't really compare the two. I think
it's hard to judge them on the same chart. She's a badass in the fact when it comes to solo come up, like That is insane. Although Genghis didn't come from a floor sweeper to a ruler, so we have seen that as well.
Yeah, I guess. But I just think it's cool.
Probably a harder time
to
have a come up as well.
I think it's cool the way that she started, being a prostitute on a floating brothel, and then definitely. She's worked her way up to literally battling.
Finesse the game.
Yeah, she's fucked. So, yeah, that's Ching Shih. The next episode is going to be a fun one, because have you noticed that all three...
Well, should we just quickly say what we think for the first fight there?
Let's do the first two, because Rose Namajunas is fighting.
I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't actually seen enough. I'll be dead serious, I haven't seen enough of the other fighters, so I'm just hoping Cyril Garn brings it home, because it would be nice to see him get a dub after a loss.
Sergey Spivak, the polar bear, he's not like Sergey Pavlovich. He's still a good fighter, but I think Cyril Garn takes it. He's, yeah.
Oh.
Sergey? Yeah. But yeah, I think Cyril Garn takes a win against Sergey Polar Bear. And I also think Rose Namajunas wins against Manon Furiot. Although Manon, extremely good French kickboxer. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to take Manon.
All right, come on. What is it?
Who are you taking? Israel Adesanya. I'm taking Sean Strickland. I seriously am taking Sean Strickland.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, he's done decent, in his last fight, and he's probably looking the best that he's ever looked.
The only thing
I just can't see it. Well, this guy beat this guy down here.
I mean, you look what Alex Pereira done to Sean Strickland, but I just think that Sean Strickland, his fight style is so in your face and weird, and Izzy's proven that, or he's kind of like a take your time. He's a counter striker, but Sean's fight style is so weird. He holds his hand up and lets him go flop it. It's just such a weird fight style to handle.
This is Izzy.
You've got Izzy for that one, have you?
Fake left. Kick to the body. Right hook. Done.
Yeah?
Done.
What is...
Remember the day.
I seriously don't know what's happening.
He's holding on the...
Oh, okay.
Sorry, cat on the desk again.
Right. So, you've got Izzy, I've got Sean for the main. Co-main... Taito Ivaza, Bam Bam, is going against Alexander Volkov. Who you got for that one?
We're gonna see some swings.
I think Volkov is he's reaching that point now where he's been at the top, and now he's I'm not saying he's falling off or anything, but I just think
Ty's just that little bit tighter and a little bit, I feel like, just ahead of the curve, I guess. A little bit more active in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's tighter. He just throws bombs. He does not give a shit. He wants to entertain. And then we've got... I don't even want to fucking shout them ones out.
That guy's ain't even got an up-to-date picture. That was in black and white.
Oh, it's always good when you see Jack Jenkins on the card. And Carlos Pretty Boy at Oldberg, he's good. That's Izzy's teammate. Who else we got in the earlies? Yeah.
Are we going to miss the next one?
Oh, yeah. My bad. Where'd that go? Is it that one? Sorry, guys. Just trying to find it. So, UFC 293. Oh, no, we just done that.
Oh.
Yeah. So, that's it for UFC 293 and also the fight night with Cyril Garn and Sergey Spivak.
Oh.
I know, there's some good fights coming up.
Yeah.
That is actually going to be a really good fight with Rafael
Let's hope that
Fiziev.
don't get cancelled.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't even like talking ahead this far. I will only talk ahead 5 days, 6 days now, because it just changes. It just fucking... UFC this year has been bad for it. Do you not think? This year has been pretty bad for cancelling fights or people dropping out.
It has.
Like the fucking Chandler fight in December.
So, the last 3 of the history Nutjobs I've done, like I was just saying before the UFC predictions, they've all been strategist. But that one you mentioned with, obviously his hands got chopped off and he replaced them with swords. He doesn't seem like a strategist. He just seems like a fucking actual nut job.
Like an actual animal, yeah.
Like something you'd hear in a video game or see in a movie.
But isn't this titled History's Nutjobs?
Exactly.
Isn't this this is perfect for it.
It is.
And it might be a quick one, to be fair.
Well, I'll see what I can find on him, see what I can make up. not make up as in make up stories, but see what I can chop up.
It is insane. I can't believe you never heard of him until I showed you on the podcast. I was like, I just showed you his kill count or something, and it is like insane.
So-
he like, all I know is that he had his hands chopped off as a punishment, so he replaced them with blades. It's like, fuck.
What episode do you have coming up next?
Right. Me and Baz were chatting today,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you saw Lucy Ligby, the one, Holly, you might have heard. She killed like loads of babies.
Oh yeah.
And she just got a whole life order.
Yeah.
So I thought, what better way? Well, I know, right? It's not. I'm leading on from something tragic. What better way than to go over some of the people that have whole life orders in the UK? Because it's quite rare to have a whole life order. We don't get full life sentences.
Yeah.
A life in the UK is 21 years, like max.
So there's going to be 2 episodes coming up with our friend Baz, and obviously one of them he's a heavy guy on consciousness, and he was talking to me about, I don't know if you know him, Stephen Greer, where he's like I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
Just it's going to be really good. So that's the next few episodes coming up.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. If you like this podcast, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give a like. Also follow us on Spotify. Leave us a fucking max star review. Oh, we want a 5-star. That really helps us out. Give us a 5-star.
It does.
Holly, what's the key word that people should write in the comments?
Bowl.
Bowl. Bowl.
BOWL. Bowl.
Bowl. Right. I've enjoyed this.
I've enjoyed this too. I don't want it to end.
I know.
No, don't reach for that stop.
No, I'm going to do it.
Don't reach. Don't do it.
No, I'm doing it.
You can't stop me.